Hello everybody, good morning and welcome back to howtotrade.com and welcome back to another live stream here in our trading room, where today we're going to be going through our trend rider strategy and hopefully providing you with a bit of an update of on our recent trades that we've had on this strategy, and also providing you with any new opportunities as well. It is absolutely freezing cold here in the UK and very, very rainy indeed. It's horrible, and it's just put me in a bad mood this morning. So hopefully the trend rider strategy can get me out of it. But it's absolutely freezing, so that's why I've got a big thick jumper on. So we're going to be looking at the trend rider strategy today. If anyone does have any questions on sort of how the strategy works, then feel free to sort of stop me. However, we do pretty much these streams every single week, so we should have an idea now of how it works, should we say. So if you don't know how it works, then stop me and I'll go through the rules of the strategy itself. But I can point you in the right direction on our education section. If you scroll down here, sorry, at the top, we've got the strategies here. We've got 6 strategies, and we're looking at the trend rider strategy. So make sure you take a look at that and have a look at the video itself, and also you can have a look at the learning resources as well. So I'd recommend that you do that before you do anything else. Okie dokie, right, let me just check for the message come through. Right, let's have a look now at some of the opportunities. So what I normally do when I do this is I go through from top to bottom and show you really just how quick and easy it is to actually dive into that. So we'll take a look at that now. Hello to you all in the trading room as well. Marco, Wizard Alvin, hello to you. Amigo, Famothiats, Clone, R2GB as well, good to see you. And we've got a few people on the YouTube channel as well, Team Arena and Adil as well. Marco says it's absolutely super hot here in Australia, close 42. Oh, I bet that's but you can't even go outside on that, can you? I can imagine it's really tough to even step outside in that sort of temperature. Right, I'll just show you this as well. I was just having a quick look to see if this would be a good opportunity from this demand zone here on the Nasdaq from the 61.8%. But you can see that it's sort of been breached here, but there's been a bit of a reaction. But I was just marking it this morning just because I was bored. Okay, let's start from the top then. Let's go into the 4-hour time frame. Move that over. EMA 12 and EMA 36. And let's have a look at the situation at the moment. Right. So this is the pound versus the US dollar. As you can see, we've been in a downtrend, bit of a consolidation period here. And then we had our new crossover. And then after that crossover, we had our first test of the EMA 12 here, which is an 86 pip stop loss. So this would have been a valid entry. Currently trading at 1-to-1, which isn't too bad either. Let me just quickly head over to the ADX indicator. Just want to see what's going on with that. Where is it? There it is. So the ADX indicator, you can see we've had, once we had that crossover there, the ADX was sort of in really high levels, but to squeeze some profit out of the trade. But actually when the market was here, that's when we actually would have had a signal to exit. So if I go back onto the charts, that signal to exit was about here. So you can see that we would have made a small profit on that, and that's why I don't really like to trade it when the ADX is sort of really, really high. It's just a little filter that I've sort of had a look at. Let's now have a quick look at euro dollar. Again, there's our bearish crossover. I remember this trade. We got the touch here, and then we had a stop loss of 43 pips. And you can see that although we would have been just wicked out, we learned last week, didn't we, that what we do now, or what I do, instead of having my stop loss on the EMA 36, I move it 10 pips above it. So you can see 41.1 I got up to 51.1. It just allows you to avoid being wicked out, basically. Sorry, I just had a message come up. There we go. Right, let's have a look now. So then there was that first crossover. So if you did have your stop loss at the EMA 36, you would have been stopped out, which is annoying. But then we had another potential entry here with a stop loss of 67 pips, and you can see that that would have worked out quite nicely as well. But you can just, I'm just seeing signs that we're in a consolidation period here. So Universal will gold continue the rally from the 2650 area test. Also the war things that might boost gold again. Yeah, sure. We'll take a look at gold. How long have we got? 3 or 4 markets until we can see gold. Just had a. You guys can hear me okay, can't you? Because I seem to be getting a message here that I can't. The connection's losing. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know in the chat room. It seems to be lagging for me, but it might not be for you. Okay, cool. Oh, brilliant. Nice. Don't know what was going on there. I was just getting like a buffering thing that comes up on my OBS. That was all. Okay, right. So let's now look at USD versus the Swiss franc. This is a trade that I've been active in. This is one of the ones that I wanted to. This is one of the ones I wanted to talk about. So if we have a look at what happened, bullish crossover. There was my entry. That entry was on the 7th of November, so about 12 days ago. And you can see the market went up high as a result. Now, when we go on the ADX indicator, which is our exit signal, four-hour time frame. Remember, there was my entry. Okay. So when the ADX was going higher, brilliant, fantastic. And then what you may notice is as that trend changed, and the price started to move below, and you see those moving averages start to fall, you can see that right here around this area was where I exited the trade. So I'm going to go back onto my trading view. My trade ended up being a 3.24 to 1 risk reward trade, and I'm out now. And that is probably one of the most textbook examples of a buy 4-hour trend rider trade. You can just see how, yes, okay, we were at what, 4 to 1. We ended up getting 3.2 to 1. But you can see that if we had just simply held on to the trade, you can see how that ADX was a real indicator that the trend was changing, or not changing, but at least pausing, and therefore it wasn't worth us being in the trade anymore. And you can actually see that as a result, what's now happened is the market's actually trading now below the EMA 36. And that's why I always say trade on the first test, because if you don't, and for example you missed it and you wanted to trade that test, you can see that, well, you would have just got nowhere. And without realizing the market conditions, the fact that the market's gone so far, the fact that the ADX is already so high and the trend is already really so strong that it's likely to fall again, you wouldn't have known that. It's very, very important. So that's a winning trade. So we can close that off now. And I think I closed about 2.5% profit on that. So it's really, really nice. Now what we're waiting for is really the moving averages to tell us what's going to happen next. USD Japanese yen, it's been a little bit of more of a difficult one. There was a potential entry there to go long. And it was a 75 pip stop loss. And you can see we did get up to 2.89 to 1. I wasn't in this trade, so we don't need to go into too much detail about it. But you can now see we've just had our first bearish crossover. So that's one that I'm going to keep my eyes on in the next few days to see if USD yen starts to fall a bit more and those moving averages start to expand. AED USD as well. Again, the power of making sure that you get in at the first test, because you see that the first test was here. If I zoom in on that, you can see that. So that was the entry, and if you missed that entry, we shouldn't have been entering down here, in my opinion, because we'd already come so far. I always try and get in at the first test. The tests after that are just re-entries, sort of 0.25% re-entries. USD CAD, bit of a difficult one this, because you can see really since October, the beginning of October, so that's what, a good month, 6-7 weeks of trading, how it's just been such a beautiful buy, right? You can see that it's absolutely surged so high. And then we would have potentially had an entry around here, but I'm not sure if the gap was sufficient enough. No, it's only 20 pips, so we wouldn't have entered there. So it didn't actually give us an opportunity on this one, unfortunately. Now, gold. I know you wanted to look at gold universal. You can now see that if we ignore the trend rider for a second, you can see that gold's now traded up to our 38.2%. In terms of so I am looking for potential resistance here. Shall we still see how that goes? It might even go deeper up to the 61.8. What I'm noticing is that if the dollar is going to start to consolidate, and maybe even the trend is maybe going to fade a little bit, the strong bullish trend is going to fade a little bit, that's going to help gold prices, universal. However, we are, in my opinion, bearish because we broke down below this low, so I am actively looking for selling points. Could we rally up to the 2650 area? I think if we get a daily close above this 38.2, then most definitely. If we look at the trend rider, you can actually see, I'm sorry that I'm sort of merging some different concepts here, but if you look at the trend rider, you can actually notice that we are potentially starting to change the trend here. It's not confirmed yet, but we may be starting to see a bullish crossover. We're already seeing a 1 hour crossover, and there was a potential entry if you like to trade the 1 hour trend rider. You can see that we would have been at 1-to-1 on that entry. So my answer to your question there is, I'm looking for resistance around where we are now, this 38.2, but I'm wary of the fact that the lower time frames are just starting to turn bullish. We could see a run up to 2650, but I think if we go up to 2650, I think we're going to be heading up to 2660 at least. Similar with silver, 1 hour opportunity there. And you can see on the 4 hour time frame, we are just starting to see a bullish crossover there as well, which is very, very interesting. Now, obviously, what we're waiting for again is a test of this EMA 12, but therefore there to be a sufficient gap for us to enter. I'll just stop for a second, just see if there's any more questions. NZD USD, yes, we can check that, no problem. Thanks for saying that everything was fine as well. I appreciate that. Weird, I was getting a lagging signal, but there we go. NZD USD, again, this is lots of lessons we're learning here, because, and the biggest lesson is always enter at the first test if it's a sufficient test, i.e. a 30 pip gap. For example here, short there, stop loss was only 20 pips, we wouldn't have entered. Then we got another test here. Stop loss was 32 pips. Oh no, sorry, no, it wasn't there, was it? The second test was there with a stop loss of 37 pips. So that was a valid entry. And you can see that we, if we were in that trade, we wouldn't be out of it just yet. But you can see that we might even be able to move our stop loss down to here. Because I think now if we can see we're just starting to show signs of consolidation here in the dollar, and we're sort of in that consolidation era. We just have to be patient here. Look at this. If you're a stock market trader, we've just had a potential entry on the NASDAQ right from this test, a short opportunity. 0.75% gap. We can see we're sort of in a little bit of profit here if we entered that trade, but I'm actively looking for any more. Like there's one on the US 500 as well. US 30, you can see I'm actually potentially going to be taking a loss here on the US 30 because I was trying to get in and continue this bullish action, but I can't imagine that I'm going to survive this trade, which is unfortunate. It did react initially okay, but you can see that bearish trend ride is actually really coming into play. So I'm not going to delete that because I'm actually in this long as we speak, but looks like that might be a loser. Yes, this was the ones that I wanted to look at as well. I'm just seeing signs on the Japanese yen pairs. Here it is. Just seeing signs on the Japanese yen pairs. It was just getting that bearish crossover. And oil. Unfortunately, last night oil gapped up higher. Not much I can really do about that. It's been a really weird trade. You can actually see that yesterday, unfortunately, I mean, it was just it's one of these weird pieces of price action you can't really comprehend. We had such a big gap higher. This is all that war escalation going on. I'm still in profit here, and we did reach 1.8 to 1. So I have already closed half the position off. I normally move my stop loss to entry at 2 to 1, and we didn't quite get there. I'm shocked that we didn't. It's one of those really annoying ones, but we could still definitely come down here in oil. So I'm keeping my eye on that one as well. And I think that's pretty much a top to bottom. So the ones that I really think that we should be looking at in detail, potentially those stock market shorts, and also the Japanese yen long. So Japanese yen strength. I think we should be looking at that as well. So I'm going to post one of them in the room now, my favourite one. And if anyone does have any other questions, then feel free to reach out to me. It's not really a massively busy week in the market, so just take your time this week and get used to some things and get stuck into our education as well if you do wish to do so. Okie dokie, right, I will update you all in the trading room when I post my trade idea. Until then, trade well, trade safe, and I'll see you soon.